Good morning, it's Market Day Report. Welcome to a Friday. You know what makes this Friday really great? Well, one, the weekend's coming, right? It's also really our final big Friday before the end of the year. I know we have a Friday next week after the Christmas holiday, but again, trading in those holiday weeks, well, just not much volume, a lot of volatility, and so they're hard to compare against normal trading days. So today is really our last big trading day of the year. Let's jump into the markets and the corn market in the overnight session. Moving higher, the March up 3 1/4 cents at 4.44. December's the new crop. It's up 2 at 4.36 3/4. What about the bean trade? Well, beans in the overnight session higher as well. January at 9.70 1/4, up 7 1/4, and the deferred 7 1/2 to 8 cents higher. Soy meal overnight was higher, and soy oil contracts were lower. Still pressure from nothing from IRS on 45Z guidance for 2025. Now to the wheat market in Chicago. July unchanged at 5.51. Also in the overnight session, higher for hard red, July at 5.60 1/4, penny and a quarter higher, and spring wheat Minneapolis, March up 3 1/2, 5.90 1/4, and I can already spoil it for you for cotton, lower in the overnight session. Brian Hoops is with Midwest Market Solutions. Brian, I failed to mention, but I know you will, a flash sell for corn.
Good morning, Tony. You're right. We had another one. This time it was a 150,000 metric tons corn to Colombia. So it's the second sale this week to Colombia. We haven't seen China really buy any soybeans, corn, or anything this week. It's been unknown destinations in Colombia, mostly coming in for our sales. But we're glad to see some corn being sold once again, no matter if it's China or what country it is, Mexico, and that's a country that's certainly slowed. We saw prices move higher overnight, and we've been talking probably for a week now that maybe there's some drier weather moving into parts of Argentina. And if the market's going to be concerned about it, it will be the meal market that leads us higher. And there's really no extreme heat forecast to have a lot of crop loss, but we might have some stress because of that forecast for that 10 days of dryness. And we're seeing meal come off of its contract lows. And in the overnight, we rallied back near Monday's highs. So almost erasing all of this week's gains by today's close. So I think we'll watch to see what the meal does. If it continues to move higher, no doubt it'll drag soybeans along with it, and that will be kind of the bullish star word here. Otherwise, you have soybeans contract lows, meal contract lows, wheat contract lows this week. We're all kind of hovering near those levels. Corn is by far and away the most fundamentally supportive market in here. We had a pretty decent rally. We pulled back this week, corrected, bounced off of a 62% correction, and rallied once again. So the corn market's more of a function of basis levels and spreads. And, we saw basis get real tight. Some cash movement took place. Basis backed off a little bit. Now that cash movement's slowing once again, so basis starting to creep higher, and it probably will into the end of the year. Plus, we get into January. If we have a USDA report in January, it could be kind of friendly for corn, or it should be expected to be friendly for corn. That gives us some buying interest going into that report as well.
I like how you threw in if we have reports, because the government shutdown means no reports from USDA. Now, we will get a report from USDA for cattle, and that comes up later today. So hang on. We'll come back and talk cattle on feed with Brian Hoops. Market Day Report continues after this. So cash cattle did develop yesterday. We saw some in the north at 195 to 197, dressed at 305 to 307, but quite a few passing on the bids. So we'll see what happens today. It's a short harvest week next week, so packers won't need as many cattle as they might have needed last week. All right, so how does that set the stage for trading markets today? Let's go to live cattle traded yesterday in the red. 190.35 a hundredweight on the front month, down 95, 186.55 on the February, down $1.77. Over for the feeders yesterday, we saw pressure as well, down 252 on the front month at 254.47. Lost 317 on both the May and August contracts. And then over to hogs. Did hogs fare any better? Not really. February and April in the red. Front month at 83.62 off 7, with May and June contracts gaining, but the June and July remaining above $100. Let's bring back in Brian Hoops, Midwest Market Solutions. So cash cattle developing and a cattle on feed report today. Does that really set the stage for trading for a day and a half next week?
Yeah, we might be in that type of mode, Tony. It was steady at best cash trade, pretty much wrapped up, I think, for the week. Probably not any type of a bearish news on this cash market, considering what the futures have done the last 3 days. In fact, we've been down, I think, 4 days in a row in live cattle futures. So the fact that cash can remain steady with we go, kind of a victory there. I think we're probably going to see some hedge lifting starting to develop today, maybe some positioning ahead of that report. The placement number is what's going to attract the most attention. On-feed supplies should be within a percentage point of either +1, -1 compared to year-ago levels, but the placements should be down. And the question is how much? Will it be 2 or 3%? Will it be closer to 5 to 6% down? That's what I think really what will people be watching at 2 o'clock when that report's released. So we'll probably get some hedge lifting, some positioning to give us a little bit of a bounce going into that report. Now, Monday, we're supposed to have hog and pig report. We're supposed to have cold storage reports. Does the government shut down and we don't get those reports? That's kind of something the trade is going to be kind of watching and maybe doing some positioning as well today. Those reports are supposed to come out at 2 o'clock, so we can trade those on Monday. But then, you get that holiday shortened week as we close early on Tuesday of next week.
All right, Brian, always great to see you. We'll see you back here on Monday, unless, well, the government shut down.
We'll be
Shut
open.
you down. It won't, though.
We won't.
Yeah, we'll see you
All
back
right.
here Monday. Brian Hoops, Midwest Market Solutions. Again, cattle on feed report, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock Central.